Jacinta Nampijinpa Price has been relegated to the backbench of the coalition by leader Susan Lee after a week of headlines, refused apologies, and claims the government had been allowing Indian people into the country because it was more likely they would vote Labour. Here's the story. On Wednesday last week, Senator Nampijinpa Price appeared on the ABC and suggested that the Labour government was bringing in Indian migrants to boost their support. A short time later, she called those comments a mistake, but did not apologise. By Thursday morning, the Liberal Party was in damage control. Opposition leader Susan Lee said, "I'm fighting for every single Australian, no matter where you came from." Meanwhile, Senator Nampijinpa Price was blaming the interviewer for pushing her further about which communities Labour were supposedly targeting. On Sydney radio, she said, "It's funny how the media will then jump on that and suggest that I have to apologise. There's nothing to apologise for when you're outlining facts." She also did an interview on Sunrise that morning where Natalie Barr didn't ask her about it at all. On Friday, Nampijinpa Price does an interview with the Australia Today, an Australian Indian news outlet. She said, "I cherish our Indian community. I have absolutely no ill will towards Indian Australians in general." Again, no apology. By Sunday, it's all kicked off again. Opposition leader Susan Lee is again at bat, telling the ABC the comments were wrong and incorrect, but she didn't apologise either. Damage control continues into the afternoon as Lee takes a trip to Harris Park in Sydney's west, also known as Little India. Meanwhile, Senator Nampijinpa Price accuses Liberal MP Alex Hawke of verbally abusing her staff over the phone Thursday morning after the first ABC interview. Again, in Sydney, the Coalition Shadow Attorney General Julian Leeser appears at a community event held at the IABBV Hindi School and said Price's comments were something I want to apologise unreservedly for. Everything's going great. It's Monday now, and things are really starting to heat up. Alex Hawke denies berating one of the senator's staff on the phone and said he called to offer help. Price appears on Sky News and doubles down that Alex Hawke berated her staff and still does not apologise for her comments about Indian Australians. On Tuesday, a few MPs throw their support behind Price. But the coalition is far from an aligned machine. Multiple Lib MPs and senators begin posting to social media and touring their own communities, effectively apologising on behalf of Senator Price themselves. In New South Wales, the leader of the New South Wales opposition, Mark Speakman, issued a statement. "I and the New South Wales Coalition are sorry for the deep hurt many Indian Australians feel after a federal senator's offensive comments last week." And on Wednesday, at a press conference in Perth, Price still refuses to apologise, and when asked if she backs Susan Lee's leadership, she says that's a decision for the party room. Now that evening, Lee issues a statement saying Price will be removed from her shadow cabinet and no longer act in her role as Shadow Minister for Defence Industry. Price issued this statement, still not apologising. She only reiterated regret and not being clearer in my comments on the ABC a week earlier. Finally, on Thursday, Susan Lee apologises to the Indian community, and Liberal MP Dave Sharma, who has Indian heritage, also apologised for how they handled this whole thing. Now, Susan Lee is yet to announce who will be replacing Price, but the former Shadow Minister for Defence Industry will be sitting on the backbench moving forward, and still hasn't fully supported her leader. Everything's going well in the land of the coalition.